Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're going to talk about the concept of a system-oriented business, right? System-oriented versus people-oriented. Now, what's funny is I feel like a lot of businesses in the modern age, they want to act like they're system-oriented, but they're people-oriented. And the concept of a system oriented business is very, very old. It started pretty much with the Industrial Revolution. And what made the Industrial Revolution so, quote, revolutionary is that you would basically do the same repetitive task over and over again in a factory, and you were just a replaceable cog in a machine, which is the concept of a system oriented business, right? So, how do you know that most businesses are people oriented? It's because they are operate around the talents of their people, right? Whereas a system oriented business operates regardless of the people within it. You have a system, right? And I know it's kind of maybe something you've never really heard about, but the reason I know that most businesses are people oriented is that every time you get like a W 2 job and then you look for a new job that offers you a better salary, ever notice that you always get a counter offer for a higher salary because the people who manage businesses, many businesses, they don't want to admit that you're vital to the operation, but because they're thinking last minute, they go, "Oh my goodness, what do I do from to keep this person from leaving?" Because that person is actually vital to the operation. Then that's when they start to offer you more money, and that's how you know where that you actually are a people oriented business, even though most people in higher management positions never want to they never want to admit that, right? But you have to be a system oriented business and be able to operate regardless of the talent of the people within it. And so the easiest example of this is McDonald's, right? So there was a quote I read in a Robert Kiyosaki book, Rich Dad. I don't know if it came directly from Rich Dad Poor Dad, but I remember it was one of those Rich Dad books. But since he has like a million of them, I can't remember which book it came from. But he says, when I ask the classes I teach, how many of you can cook a better hamburger than McDonald's, right? And I think everybody can cook a better hamburger than McDonald's. I can cook a better hamburger than McDonald's, right? And almost all the students raise their hands. I then ask, so if most of you can cook a better hamburger, how come McDonald's makes more money than you, right? Food for thought. And the reason why McDonald's makes more money is because Ray Kroc made the restaurant business very system oriented, right? So regardless of who is inside the McDonald's restaurant, whether it's the managers, the workers, the cashiers, they all are replaceable and operate within a system. Now, I'm not going to say fast food is easy because I remember I worked fast food for a month. I actually worked inside of Checkers, and that was like one of the hardest, crazy jobs that I've ever had to work. But it was system oriented because every time, let's say, a car enters the driveway, there's actually something called the speed of service counter. So a clock starts to tick. I think it's like 2 minutes. And then the whole goal is to make sure that the fast food order gets out within the 2 minute time frame. And then if you're able to do it, that's a success. And if you're not able to do it, then that's a failure. So that's a system oriented business. Now, is there poor training and poor implementation of that system? Absolutely. Because I remember like not being trained on how to even make a hamburger, right? So you do have to have a little bit of training to go with it. But what I'm saying is that that fast food restaurant is a system oriented business and is able to operate regardless of the people within it. And that's how I operate this YouTube channel. So do you know why I don't really show my face? Number one is because I'm a little bit shy. I believe it or not, I'm a little bit shy. But I'm creating a system oriented YouTube channel, meaning that if I decide I never want to do this ever again, I could find someone to replace me and teach them what the system is, and I could kind of give you an outline of quote the system, right? And this is, your system doesn't have to be elaborate, but this is what I do to create YouTube videos. I create the thumbnail first, right? I create the thumbnail and YouTube title on Canva, right? I create that first before I ever create the video. So believe it or not, I created the Canva thumbnail before I start this recording, right? And then number two, or like, a side note to that is always add a clickbait element. So maybe like a shocking emoji with a with a what do you call it, arrow, right? Like, you ever watch like Screen Rant? Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the channel Screen Rant. In fact, let me go ahead and we'll go into the YouTube and look for Screen Rant, right? So if I go in here, I remember, I don't know if they still do it anymore, but let's just take a look. But if I go to popular, you'll notice like there's an arrow in every single thumbnail, right? So it's just like almost the same thing over and over again. You know, you have a circle, you have an arrow, you know, circle here, circle there, arrow here, right? I kind of do the same thing, although I think my thumbnails are actually better than these. But let's take a look here. Do they do that anymore? So, no, it seems like they don't exactly do that anymore. But again, they changed their system, right? But it's the same thing that we have to consider is that when we're, let's say, creating videos, we got to have a system to it, whether it's like the logo on the top bottom left, right? So this is my system when it comes to YouTube. It's very simple. Create the thumbnail, YouTube title on Canva, clickbait element, shocking emoji with an arrow, right? And then number two is, you know, if I'm going to talk, you know, on whatever, I'm just going to do it on Microsoft Word and a few bullet points and keywords, and then try to make the video maybe around 5 to 10 minutes in length, right? And then number three, you know, um, call to action, right? So I used to say in videos, hey, make sure you click the Google form link below if you want to join this group. Now I've taken out that form for now, but you want to basically a call to action and then sell something, right? So that's like number four, Google form link, and then number four, set appointment and sell product. Okay, so that's the basic system, right? And that's what you know what you have to teach other people to be able to operate. So even if I have, let's say, a non-Korean person, I'm just going to teach them, hey, this is Korean Atlanta mentorship. Do bullet points 1, 2, 3, 4, and then upload a video. And no matter how bad you are at it, it doesn't matter. Just follow the system and maybe create a script, right? But too many people, they operate on talents of their people, of their employees. You don't want to do that because what's going to happen is that when you operate in the talents of your people, the tail is going to wag the dog, and you don't want that to happen. Whereas if you have a system-oriented business, and this is even true with rental properties or real estate investing, the dog will wag the tail, right? So let me actually highlight that here. Tail wags the dog. Okay. And so again, I don't want to seem like harsh or anything like that, but people are essentially your biggest liability. And if you decide to leave, like, oh my goodness, you're screwed, right? Like happens to many, many businesses all the time. That's why they always counteroffer you when you're going to leave your job, right? If you find a better job, and then they wait till the very last moment. See, they want to be there. They think that they're system oriented, but they're actually people oriented. Because if they leave, it's like, okay, good for you. See you soon, or good luck to you, right? All right. Well, so this is a Korean Atlanta mentorship. So again, reminder, why can you, so how many of you can cook a better hamburger than McDonald's? Most of you say yes. But if most of you can cook a better hamburger, how come McDonald's makes more money than you, right? And the biggest mistake, or one of the biggest mistakes that we make, is that we assume that the amount of money that we make is based on our talent and ability when it's not. It's about being able to produce a consistent product into the marketplace and be able to make money off of that. All right, well, have a great day, everybody, and we will speak next time.